I did see all the buffs. I still, even after all my time spent with Blizzard, the years I've covered it, I actually have no clue how they get themselves in this situation. I genuinely have no idea how Blizzard gets in this situation. Where the players, within like a day, point out an obvious problem with the system. Like an obvious problem with the system. They're like, yeah, this doesn't work. Just letting you guys know it doesn't work. And they announce it like before the patch goes live. The players who are into this stuff, who could do the sims and all this kind of stuff, the players realize within a couple of hours, it's like, yeah, this is not going to do what you want it to do. And they still don't fix it until after the patch. So I'm in that situation again. And it's what annoys me so much about WoW being such a gear-focused game. Where you guys saw on stream, I got my BIS gems and I deleted the other ones. Because they were filling my inventory. I had like fucking 12 gems or something. So I got rid of them. And now the what's BIS has changed. So I need to do them again. At least some of them. It just makes you just not fucking bother. It just kicks you in the arse. It's like, I just can't be arsed. I did all the work. I did what was asked of me. And then you just change what it is. And it's like, well, why? WGMs used to tell a lot of stuff. They do know. Like, I had the Q&A with Ian on Monday or whatever it was. This week. They knew about it. Like, yeah, we're going to fix it and stuff. So, I mean, part of it is my own problem, I suppose. Like, I did know they were going to change it. Or going to buff them. But I just don't understand how, like, one could be, like, 72% off. Right? And why is there, like, 50 of them? I'm not exaggerating, but why is there so many? This is the same thing they did with Azerite power, where they created, like, hundreds of powers. Why? Because nobody understands which one's better. Look at these tooltips. This one does 21,000 over 7 seconds. How often? Regularly? Sparingly? Every minute? Every 2 minutes? Every minute and a half? Every 10 seconds? No idea. So, I don't know if that's better than this. This restores health. Moving builds electrical charge, causing your next damaging ability to eat 18,000 H damage. How often? How much does this charge stack? Is that better than this one? I don't know. Should I jump all the time? Do I need to uptime it? Do I need to maximize it? No idea. Just don't know. Dealing damage has a chance to drain life, dealing 15,000 shadow damage and healing you. How often? When? Can I get some simplified, like, expected damage? You know, like an extra line here is like, we expect this will do 30,000 damage a minute. We expect this will do 36,000 damage a minute. Something like that. Can we get something like that? So we could just at least, like an average person can look at this and be like, okay, that one's better than that one. Are they all supposed to be the same? In which case, why is there fucking 17 of them? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? If they're all supposed to be the same and it's all supposed to equal out, then what the fuck's the point? Like, what's the point in it? Just go to a doughy for 2 hours or work out some... Or one per roll. Make it easy. Oh, this is the hunter one. I've never understood this, and I think it's some old school customization or illusion of depth. I think that's what it is. They're like, oh, more choices means there's more depth to the system. All you're doing is driving people to third-party information. That's all you're doing with these things. You're just driving people to third-party information to find out what's good because nobody knows. There's nobody here, based on the information it gives, can look at these and decide which ones they want. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. There's just simply not enough information. Makes no sense. You have to go somewhere else. You have to rely on somebody else to figure it out. Or you have to be of the opinion like, I just don't care. In which case, it's a failed system. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Why do they make them? To make an interesting item. I like the premise. The premise is kind of okay. We want to make an interesting item. You get yourself a ring. You can socket it however you want. You can make it do things. You get all these choices. Like, a very bare bones, sort of thinly veiled idea, it's okay, right? You get to customize this thing. But the customizations are boring because they're just damage procs that you don't know have happened regardless. Like, it'll show up in your damage meter, sure, but, like, you can't control them. You can't do anything about it. So, what's the point? Right? I guess this is a tank one, right? It does 30,000 damage and slows melee attackers. That sounds good. This one's a healing one. Cool. This one drains life and heals me. So tanking and a bit of damage, I suppose. Like, you can go through it that way, but ultimately, you can't do anything with this information. It'll happen when it happens. Will it happen at a good time? Don't know. Does it do anything to how I play my character? No. Nothing. There's nothing. It's all thingy. You know, you can change them very easily and don't lose them, so I suppose just trying and playing with them. That's nonsense. Like, yeah, you can do that. But that's nonsense. Any gear in a video game, you should be able to figure out whether it's pretty good for you or not. That's my personal opinion. Any item, you should be able to figure out if this item is good for you or not. No way you know if these are good for you or not. There's no way. There's just no way. So your suggestion is, oh, I should stick them into the gem, go and whack a training dummy probably, then swap around all of them until I find out one that I think does more damage. Like, why is that fun? I don't understand why anybody would think that's fun. Like, why do I want to spend my time doing that? That sounds terrible. Can't I just know that the item I get is good? That's my opinion on it. You know what I mean? I don't get it. And also to get them wrong. Let's not forget that. They got them wrong. So all these had to be buffed and changed. It's annoying. Everyone's Love to Dark. Well, what was my first instinct was like, who's done the biz list? Wowhead has the biz list. That was it. Because I can't figure it out myself. There's no way. Like, do I want the interrupts ones for certain fights? Do I need to go back and swap this out? You know what I mean? It just puts a bad taste in my mouth, man. It just puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't understand how it happens. I really don't. I don't understand how it happens. Especially when the players figure it out so quickly. Like we've done a million times with WoW stuff. It's like, yeah, this is clearly a problem. And it just doesn't get changed until too late. And then when the items are actually interesting, fun detected and nerfed because it has amazing usage. It depends. I do understand the problem because the likelihood is, there's a likelihood here, right? Is that they don't want this system, this ring, to last into the next season. They want it to be like BIS for you now and then replace next season. So now they might have the problem where they make these rings too good and then they have to nerf them again when season 2 comes out. So people don't... So they might have to buff them now and then season 2 comes out, 10.1, and then they need to nerf them again. They might run into that situation, or they just have to hope and pray that someone gets it. They might end up in that scenario again. And it's like, all this effort, man. All this effort. For what? What are we getting out of it? What are we getting? Just turn them off? I don't think they'll turn them off. I think they'll just nerf them down. Or they'll just make the next rings even more powerful. Like, it's pretty close anyway because of the lack of secondary stats. I still think even with these changes, there are some classes that aren't benefiting from them. Anyway. Because their secondary stats are just so important. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not. It's just frustrating. Needlessly frustrating. It's not a big deal. These gems are very easy to get. You can gamble on them on the vendor. I could probably replace mine for the best ones in about 5 minutes. It's just frustrating. That's the problem. It's just frustrating. It's needlessly frustrating. I've already done the work. I got rid of the other ones. I have to get them again. They're changing it. You know what I mean? It's just like, Yeah, you can upgrade them with dual crafting as well. Yeah. Yeah, QA is crucial. But I'm sure it'll be fine. It's the first week. It'll work out. It is what it is. It's just, it's one of those things that reminds you, is like, this is the frustrating part of games that are so focused on gear. To try and make it complicated. Also, give it. I think they believe that this has got a depth to it. I don't see it personally. I don't see this as a deep system. At least not for me. But I also don't really care about gear. I don't think there's been any more proof of that than how we play. No, they have changed, but like the gearing structures and a different setup. Like their communication is so much better. So much better. Their philosophy on the game is so much better. When it comes to the gearing stuff, though, that still needs a lot of work. They made a valiant effort. Was it in Kata? No. It was when they took Reforging away. Was it in Mop? Where they had like a decree. It's like nobody should need a third party to figure out if an upgrade is an upgrade. Was it WOD? It's like nobody should have to do that. And I fully agreed. I was like, nobody should need Sims paying. I paid for Sims for years to figure out if an upgrade is an upgrade or not. And then they abandoned that after a while. They just were like, nah.
41
is
months.
What it is. Is what it is.
Wait, how long is that again?
It's exhausting. I don't think it's exhausting. It depends what you're doing. It really depends. You have the choice. It's an MMO, right? It's an MMO. But the focus of WoW is gear. Unquestionably gear. That's it. Gear over content, I would say. The focus on gear trumps the content of the game. The focus is on getting stronger rather than the content. I don't feel like that in FF, certainly. I want to do the content rather than the gear. I want to beat the bosses. I want to experience the fights. Now, with WoW, I do that in a very short short-term thing, but then it's very much just gear-focused. Should I make a strat for Mythic Razagath? It didn't make a good strategy. A Materia in FF14 technically Reforging Remix. I have limited experience with it, so take it with a pinch of salt. But, like, for my Scholar, I have 2 priority stats when it comes to Materia. And all I do is I look at the gear to see whether the top priority can go in, and if not, my second priority goes in. And that's it. I think that's fine. I don't need to learn more than that. Like, what are my 2 top priorities? Does this gear have room for my top priority? Yes, no. If yes, put in top priority. If no, put in second priority. That's it. Done. I actually think the system is kind of useless in many ways. Because it doesn't have that depth of it making, of thinking about it in any way. I still think, I think the peak of that kind of modification was still Wrath of the Lich King gemming. I had a lot of fun without Sims or anything, min-maxing Wrath of the Lich King gemming. I think that was the peak of it, where you could have colored set bonuses, but sometimes you didn't want that. Sometimes you did want that. It depended on the gear. It made some items that had a great set bonus and color matching perfect. And that was like you could tell that was such a prized piece of gear because it had your good stats on it and it had gem socket color bonuses that were perfect. Damn, man, that's when I craved some items, like a pair of boots. I was like, that is a sick pair of boots. Got great stats on it. Had like plus hit on it. I was a tank, obviously. Had hit on it, and it's got like a hit set bonus, and the gems are like blue and green. That means I can put stam and stuff in there. Dude, that is a fucking sick pair of boots. That is awesome. And then I look at a pair of shoulders that's like red and blue with a dodge bonus. I'm like, they're pretty shite, actually. They're pretty shit compared to these ones over here, which do another thing. Like, I really enjoyed that. I think that was Wrath. Yeah, it was. It was Wrath of the Lich King. I felt that way during Corruption in 8.3. 0.3 patches are kind of a get out of jail free card, I feel. They're always when they let the circus into town. At least in WoW, the 0.3 patches are like, and now you can go crazy and do whatever the fuck you want. Like, the 0.3 patches, I think it's also a good marketing thing, because people remember the 0.3 patches so fondly, and that gets them excited about the next expansion, because they're having so much fun in the 0.3 patches, that the 0.1s, the 0.0s, and the 0.2s kind of get forgotten about. Let's not forget, that's the same expansion that had the necklaces in it, I think. We had the necklaces, and did we have, what else did we have? It was a grim time. The Corruption came in 0.2, I think. Did it? It wasn't until 0.3 they made it purchasable. Oh, did it come in 0.3 and it was late 0.3 they let you buy it. So, that's when we had the cloaks as well. Yeah. Remember, we couldn't purchase it for a while. Like, when the 0.3, when the Corruption came in, it was pure RNG and people hated it. Let's not forget that. That was crazy. Like, that was totally random when you were just, like, hoping and praying to get certain things. And the auction house went ballistic, bro. Ballistic. The prices people were paying for corruptions at the start of that patch. Oof. Oof. Millions and millions of gold. That's when we actually got talking about RE4. That's when we had the traveling salesman. What are you buying? What are you selling? That's when that came into the game. We had those traveling salesmen coming in who were buying all the BOEs on different servers and then spreading their wares, targeting all the guilds to come and get it. Even Loz did it, man. Loz had a spreadsheet where he would scout. He had like he would pull up a list from all the servers of all the BOEs and put up a spreadsheet in the guild forums on Discord for them to go and buy it. They were trading gold across servers. They were doing all sorts of stuff. All sorts of wacky stuff. It was weird.